Ricswaza. We live in an age of mediocrity. I don't think you need me to tell you what I mean.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
And I don't think anyone's got it worse than Star Wars. Okay, that's enough. For those who don't know, Star Wars was originally a small film from 1997 inspired by old Flash Gordon sci-fi pulp serials. Well, one thing leads to another, and Star Wars becomes a multimedia empire, a pillar of pop culture, and one of the strongest fucking IPs of all time. So it would either take a real genius or a real retard to fuck this up and behead the golden goose. Oh look, I think the Mayans were right, because in 2012, the world ended for Star Wars fans. They just didn't know it yet. Disney buys Star Wars for $17 gazillion and announces a new trilogy to breathe life into the franchise, and guess what? It fucking kills the franchise. Everything they have made with Star Wars, and please excuse my language,
it's bad. Yeah, man, that shit ain't good, man.
Star Wars, which was once a powerhouse, has become kind of a laughingstock.
I sold them to the white slavers that take these things and
okay, but
At best, it's boring. At worst, it's insulting. Star Wars is so dead and buried, and I don't think it's ever gonna come back. However, there was once a time where Star Wars was actually kick-ass. Specifically in the early 2000s. That era of time was a golden age for Star Wars media. The video games alone are all iconic. KOTOR, Empire at War, Republic Commando, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Jedi Academy, fucking Starfighter. I played the shit out of Starfighter. And one Star Wars game that deservedly earned a legendary status. Battlefront.
now you can play all the Star Wars battles any way you want. Introducing Star Wars Battlefront, the video game, Tuesday, rated T.
Battlefront is one of those games that every kid has either played or wanted to play. But everyone always talks about Battlefront 2, and never the OG, Battlefront 1. So I was thinking that in this video, I would take you all the way back to 2004 to relive my childhood, and see if those games are really good or not, or if nostalgia is blinding me again. These are the Battlefront games. The first Battlefront game came out in the magical year of 2004. Developed by the Current Situation Studios and published by the now outdated LucasArts. Okay, side note, Lucasfilms Games? Really? That's such a shittier name. That's such an, that's an objective downgrade from LucasArts. LucasArts rolls off the tongue, Lucasfilms Games, like that. Jesus, like Star Wars cannot be good for 1 second, like at all. Not at all. Fuck me. Anyway, Battlefront dropped for Windows, Xbox, and PS2. Battlefront 2 would drop a year later on the same systems, plus the fancy new PlayStation Portable game system. The thing that took my fucking eyes. The nostalgia is hitting me like a motherfucker writing this. Fun fact, the PC version of Battlefront sold 290,000 copies by 2006, making it the US's 65th best-selling PC game between 2000 and 2006. Battlefront 2 outdid Battlefront 1, just like in every other way, but we'll get to that later. Earning the spot as the second most played Xbox title of 2007. Alright, we're dealing with some real titans here. Speaking of titans, some big names show up in these games, most notably Nick Jameson, who voices Emperor Palpatine in both the Clone Wars shows, and Temuera Morrison, I don't know how to say his name, who plays Jango Fett, also Boba Fett, I guess. And his performance, okay, we'll get there.
Bite my shiny metal hum.
The Battlefront games tout themselves as making you, the player, be able to experience all these iconic Star Wars battles as a soldier on the front lines. You can play in all sorts of different iconic locations like Naboo, Yavin, and Kamino, and locations from the expanded universe like Renvar. Fucking Renvar. You can also play across multiple eras in the Star Wars universe like the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil War. Fucking Renvar.
Join the Empire, they said. See the galaxy. Right.
Battlefront 1's graphics aren't that bad, honestly. However, there are some maps where you can clearly see like the backgrounds as low-res JPEGs. But for a game like made 20 years ago, it still holds up. Holy fuck, holy fuck!
Okay, now that's what I call a level 17 Gaiat.
They were ahead of their time for real. Battlefront 2 is where the graphics really shine though. Everything is so much more crisp and clear, and both games can even support modern resolutions, which honestly kind of surprised me. Battlefront 1 looks duller, quote unquote, while Battlefront 2 looks brighter, if that makes any sense.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Palpatine has got to go!
The soundtrack for Battlefield 1 is just filled with the Star Wars soundtrack, which makes the battles feel much more cinematic. It really is like I'm fighting in a scene from the movies, which is what they were going for, so A+ there. It's pretty good job.
Reinforcements have been cut off.
Enemy forces have captured a command post.
There isn't much in terms of voice acting for Battlefield 1, but I do have to mention the VA for Palpatine is pretty good.
Take a legion to the fields and wipe them out. All of them.
I love Palpatine. Palpatine is so much fun. I really hope somehow he returns. But, yet again, Battlefront 2 is where the audio really shines. Different blasters have different sounds that all sound like they pack a punch. I can't get enough of the minigun, or the chain gun, or whatever. I can't get enough of that. Oh my god. I hear that shit when I sleep at night, seriously. Or that's my neighbors. I really can't tell, but it's a good noise either way. And the voice acting?
Watch those wrist rockets! We've captured a command post. I'm taking you down, plastic boy!
Literally iconic. And also... No, not yet. We'll get there. I will say that in Battlefront 2, the movie soundtracks aren't as in your face like in Battlefront 1, but that just allows the sound of the actual battle to take center stage. Like, it's still there, but you hear the blaster fire and explosions more, along with like comms chatter from the other NPCs.
Do we have to kill Sakura? I was kinda hoping to get her holo number.
So the core of both Battlefront games is to place you, the player, into the thick of battle all across the Star Wars universe. Once you load in, you have to choose a class, ranging from snipers to combat engineers to regular soldiers. You can crouch, go prone. In Battlefront 1, I don't know why they didn't do that in Battlefront 2, because it's kind of fun, but you know what, whatever. Lay down suppressing fire, snipe enemies, lob grenades, lay down bombs, and even order your fellow soldiers to follow you and support you in like a limited sort of squad mechanic. Do whatever it takes to win, basically. The two main game modes across both games is Galactic Conquest, a game mode where you have to fight over different planets in the Star Wars galaxy like Renvar, with each planet giving you a bonus in the next battle, such as back to healing, or more armor, or even hero assistance. For example, on Renvar, right, it gives you the bonus of disabling the enemy's minimap, which is so crucial to the battle. Okay, no more fucking around. Why is actually Renvar in this game? Like, it's a cool planet, I guess, but it's so, like Renvar. Why Renvar? That's so out of the blue. Like, Renvar isn't even, like, it's not in the movies. It's just expanded universe stuff. Renvar intrigues me. I wonder if there's, like, a super dramatic story behind its inclusion. Or if they were just like, look, dude, we got like a week before release. There needs to be another snow planet. We need to hit the snow planet quota. So just, fuck it, Renvar, pick out of the hat. Anyway, a little light strategy gaming never hurt anybody. Fires off my autistic neurons like a bitch. And instant action, which is exactly what the name implies. You get action instantly. I wish I could get action instantly. Like fucking sex and fucking a whole lot. Haha. That's a horrible... I gotta fucking cut that. Jesus Christ. Both games include multiplayer, but I think Battlefront 1's multiplayer is dead, while Battlefront 2's is still going. And you can have up to 64 players, which is nice. It's kind of like gamer night material, you know, it's whatever, though. Battlefront 1 includes many vehicles you can drive around in, including X-Wings and TIE Fighters you can fly around in atmosphere. But Battlefront 2 really pushed things by including full-blown space battles. You can fly around and dogfight or board the enemy capital ship and wreak havoc on their support systems. The way you win these space battles is that you have to accumulate a certain amount of points. And the best way to do that is to just go in there and wreck house. Just fucking kill. Just go in there and kill. See red, kill, 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 kill. In Battlefront 1, there are hero units that are NPCs they just slaughter everything in their path. And to be honest, it's kind of bullshit. I don't care how fucking lore accurate Darth Vader is in this. I'm lobbing grenades and shooting him point blank with rockets, and he still gets up like it's nothing. Did he just reload his fucking lightsaber? But in Battlefront 2, the heroes are a specialist role that you can actually control yourself. They don't have regular health. They take damage like everyone else, but their lightsaber gradually goes down over time, and the only way to keep it up is to slaughter. The heroes are all super fun too, with their own powers and abilities, and the devs knew how fun they were because they added their own special game mode and where all the heroes duke it out in Mos Eisley. Another core gameplay mechanic is
Capture a command post.
in order to get more spawn locations and score more points, you have to capture command posts. They're scattered all over the map, and you get notifications to see who captures what. See here, the Confederacy captured Pier 1 imports. So you gotta go over there, and you gotta take those totally awesome deals back. No wonder they went out of business. That is a bad joke. I wrote that when I was drunk, and I thought it was funny, and it's not fucking funny at all, but I'm gonna include it, because if I don't, I'm gonna kick myself. Both Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 have campaigns. Battlefront 1's campaign is divided into the prequel and original movie eras. Both campaigns follow the movies pretty closely. So closely, in fact, that they just straight up use scenes from the movies as cutscenes. And the Battlefront 2 campaign is an original story following a clone trooper from the 501st Legion during the Clone Wars and in the Galactic Civil War. It sounds pretty fun, honestly. He even gives like a little diary thing before each mission. I wonder what he's gonna say.
What I remember about the rise of the Empire is how quiet it was. During the waning hours of the Clone Wars, the 501st Legion was discreetly transferred back to Coruscant. It was a silent trip. We all knew what was about to happen, what we're about to do. Did we have any doubts? Any private, traitorous thoughts? Perhaps, but no one said a word. Not on the flight to Coruscant, not when Order 66 came down, and not when we marched into the Jedi Temple. Not a word.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Listening to these audio diaries, expertly voiced by Tamora Morrison, was so fucking kick-ass as a kid. I felt like I was a war veteran listening to these. So fucking cool. And apparently, according to rumor, they weren't even going to have a campaign in Battlefront 2. Or at least they weren't planning on one like this, so they just threw all of this in last minute. Honestly, I say they knocked it out of the park, though, because this shit right here, this shit makes childhoods, dude. Hats off, man, seriously.
Battle is ours.
Battlefront 2 is unironically a masterpiece of a game. When getting the footage for this video, I was like legit having fun playing the game again, and I caught myself going, okay, just one more map, and maybe a little bit more footage, just a little bit more footage. If that isn't the sign of a great game, I don't know what is. From an unforgettable campaign, to fun as fuck game modes, to great graphics for the time, and sound design that helps you get immersed, I can't not recommend Battlefront 2. Even Battlefront 1 is a great game, and you can see the seeds of what would make Battlefront 2 such a great game in it, even with the inclusion of Renvar. And especially with the inclusion of Renvar. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that if these games aren't in your library, you're doing yourself a disservice. Seriously, get these games. I would pay money for these games, and that's the highest price I can really give anything, honestly. They're super cheap too, and like as of recording this video, both Battlefronts are $10 on Steam, $9.99. These games were truly products of an era, a bygone era. As Star Wars sinks more and more into the gutter, people look back on these games with nostalgia. Better times. Even though Star Wars may be dead, these games will live on. I always thought about it this way. The best Star Wars is the Star Wars that exists inside your head. So I don't give a shit about any new movies or stupid TV shows or video games or whatever that I'm not going to give the time of day because Mickey Mouse can suck on my cock. I will not pay for mediocrity. To me, this is real Star Wars.
We've lost a command post.
Besides, I like Warhammer better anyway.
Thank you guys so much for watching, all right? This Rick review was way overdue. It was way overdue. But don't worry, all right? Because I've got more planned for the future. Because you know me, all right? I love going on autistic rants about video games on the internet. So all I can say is that you guys make sure to stay tuned because Ricswaza will be back with more, all right? Fucking see ya.